Let me take you back to 2006. Bad Day was the #1 song of the year. Borat was released to the world. Kobe Bryant scored 81 points. William Shatner sold a kidney stone. What? And then there was me, a little kid whose whole life revolved around going to school, eating, taking a shit, and watching a hell of a lot of TV. Living in tiny old Singapore, we had a channel called Kids Central, a channel for, you guessed it, kids.
No shit.
And that was where I was introduced to anime. Holy fucking shit, are those little cars battling? Jesus fucking Christ, look at all these dope cartoons. Anime is a style of Japanese film and television animation, typically aimed at adults as well as children. I don't think this was meant for kids. Out of all these anime that's suddenly being shoved in my face, one always stood out. Now, normies would probably go, oh, it's gonna be Naruto, Dragon Ball, or One Piece, isn't it? Oh, you're so boring. Unsubscribe, dislike. And to you, I say,
shut your mouth, fuck you. You are ugly. Horror. What the hell? What the shit?
My favorite anime of all time is one you probably might not have even heard of before. That anime is Prince of Tennis. A show about a middle school tennis prodigy who helps his team rise through the tennis ranks of Japan. Is this objectively the best anime of all time? No. And I'll admit a lot of this is coming from pure nostalgia. But let me try and give you reasons as to why I love this show so much as a kid and even now as an adult. Number 1. Everyone has superpowers. Have you ever watched a tennis match in real life and thought, man, isn't this exciting? Well, how about if those matches involved the tennis ball defying physics and curving around the court? Or how about if one of the players became a tornado? What if they became the literal devil in fucking tennis? Or what if tennis literally led to the extinction of the dinosaurs?
See, now that's some bullshit.
Matches are always fun to watch because of new powers we regularly get to see. And it was also fun to see how characters try and play their tennis games like they're playing a game of chess.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever.
Planning strategies way ahead of time and then capitalizing on those investments to pull out a clutch win. Take this game from early on in the series. Our main character Ryoma is going up against Shinji, a player who has a technique called spot. With a combination of top spins when the ball rotates towards the player and slices when the ball rotates towards the opponent, Shinji is able to contract the muscles in Ryoma's arms, causing it to basically freeze in place.
Yeah, I know, totally makes sense.
Ryoma has never seen this technique before and is constantly losing points because he simply can't move his arm. He tries spinning to hit the ball via momentum, but Spot even numbs his arm, loosening his grip of the racket. So how does he get out of this one? Well, get this. After thinking for a few rounds, Ryoma finds a weakness to exploit. He very brilliantly comes up with the idea to switch hands when returning Shinji's shots. By constantly switching his hands, his arm is never fatigued enough to get frozen by Spot. This is what I meant by matches are played more like chess.
Dog shit.
And the series is chock full of these awesome mental warfares. The show is absolutely insane and it obviously does not take itself too seriously. Reason number 2. It's an underdog story. Over the years, sports anime has become my favorite genre of anime to watch, despite them all having pretty much the same storyline. The genius first year joins a sucky-ass team and through dedication and hard work, they rise through the ranks and eventually make it to the biggest stage of their school career, the Nationals. I'm a very simple guy, people. Give me this story and I'll eat it up again and again and again. There's just something about seeing a team of rascals overcome adversity that gets me all jacked up. Reason number 3. The characters. More specifically, our main character, Echizen Ryoma. I'm gonna say it, but I think Ryoma is one of the most nuanced characters in anime ever.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Early on in the series, he's antagonized by nearly every opponent he faces, thinking he's just this small little first-year noob. Little do they know that Ryoma is actually a tennis prodigy, and it's always so satisfying seeing the bullies eat their words. Ryoma is kinda cocky and arrogant, which actually led to his character not being very well liked early on by reviewers of the show. But as the series went on, we find out he actually deeply cares about his friends, and that the prodigious tennis skill he has was actually born out of lots of hard work and determination. We see him have arcs like trying to grow out of his father's shadow, accepting the responsibility of being their team's best player, and even discovering what the sport of tennis really means to him. Seriously, Ryoma is GOAT. And continuing on with characters, the cast of this show was huge, with over 124 characters. And keep in mind, this came from a time where anime was hundreds of episodes long instead of short 13 or 25 episodes long we have today. This was a double-edged sword. On one hand, we were met with more filler episodes, which were more one-off plot lines that usually had nothing to do with the overarching plot of the show. But on the other hand, we got to spend more time fleshing out these other characters. We would get character moments that we would never normally get on a 13 episode show. Out of the 124 characters, a lot of them were actually given screen time to have their personality shine a little bit. The brooding type, the clown type, the gentle type, the psycho type, whatever character quirk or stereotype you wanted, trust me, this show had it. And I guarantee that everyone has a character that they can gravitate or relate to. And finally, reason number 4 why I love this show so much: my personal attachment to it. I don't want to go too deep into my life story, but I wasn't very athletic as a kid. I was the chubby nerdy kid in class, and bullies would usually pick on me because of that. I didn't have many friends either because I was kinda shy and quiet, and so Prince of Tennis was kinda like an escape for me back then. You know, Ryoma was this confident kid who could shut up bullies with all these amazing powers and techniques that he was pulling off. He was well respected by his peers and even his seniors. Girls were pining over him left and right. He had a massive group of friends who he would hang out with, and when adversity came to challenge all that, he would never give up and try his best to overcome them. It's also worth mentioning that I was basically the same age as Ryoma when the show aired, which was why I probably held a certain admiration and connection with the character. Put it simply, he was basically everything I aspired to be at that age. Couple that with me experiencing the world of anime for the first time, I fell in love with the show very quickly. And it's even so heartwarming to see that this bonkers little show from the 2000s, this little crazy little sports anime, is still getting new seasons even to this day, and it'll forever have a special place in my weeaboo heart. If any of what I just said appealed to you, I highly recommend you at least give the show a try. If you've always wanted to get into sports anime but just can't stand the old animation of Prince of Tennis or all the older classic shows, I have more modern sports anime recommendations that you could try. I'll recommend Kuroko no Basket, Haikyuu, or Yowamushi Pedal. All are great, dumb, fun sports anime that I've personally enjoyed and loved. And that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you do like the video, do smash that like button and that subscribe button. It would really help me greatly. And also do check out my other videos covering other shows like Smallville, Buffy, and more shows from the 2000s. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace.